Hey lovies, it's me, Mrs. T, and today I decided to go live for the very first time to chat with you guys about your brand and having brand consistency and what that means, and three quick ways that you can make sure you do have brand consistency and that your brand isn't out there on social media acting like it has a split personality. So I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if anybody shows up. If not, and if you're watching this like on the replay, thank you so much for hitting the replay. And don't worry because you have not missed me completely. I plan on trying to do these at least once a week. But if you're here, give me a shout out just to let me know that somebody's here. I see we have one viewer. So hi to you, and just give me a couple comments, let me know, tap those hearts, all that loveliness, and we're going to get started in a few minutes. Just to let you know what I mean when I say, does your brand have a split personality? So yes, it is Friday, and that is actually the day that I'm going to try to do these all the time on every week. Is every Friday I'm going to try to sit down and chat with you guys on different blogging tips, different how-to tips, different things for you to help get your blog where you want it to be. Hi there, whoever is watching and listening. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you want, I would love for you to share this or let somebody know that you're watching so that they can get in on the tips for today as well. So, like you saw, the title of this live video is, does your brand have a split personality? And when I say a split personality, it's basically where your brand is not consistent across the different ways or your different social media networks. Say, for instance, on my Facebook page, my name is TheMrstee, and my logo is black, pink, and white. And then on Twitter, my name is Tiffany or something completely different, and my logo has nothing to do with the Facebook logo. Same on Instagram, same on Snapchat. That's the thing where you are losing your brand consistency. You want your brand to be recognizable wherever it is being shown, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, whatever. You want a consistent image and a consistent feel to what your brand is. That's why when I said, does your brand have a split personality? What I mean is, can someone look you up on Facebook and then click over to your Twitter and still get that same feel for who you are and what your brand is? Now, there's actually three easy ways to make sure that this is happening. The first would be your color scheme or the design and layout that you're using for your different social media networks. I personally feel that whatever your color scheme is for your blog or your main website, you should try to pull as much of that over onto your social media networks as possible. That way, anyone who clicks on a social media network for you, for your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., and then clicks through to your website, they know they're getting the same person. They get the same feel when they move over to the other place. So I really feel your color scheme matters. If you take a look at my site, TheMrstee.com, I think my main colors are pink, black, and white. And you will see that theme carried across my other social media networks. That way, if someone clicks over to me, they know who I am. They know they got in the right place. I've had several instances where I've met or connected with someone and I go to check out their different social medias and I seriously feel like I'm meeting 5 different people. And that's what I mean by split personality in your brand. You don't want someone to see you on Facebook and get one thing, see you on Twitter and feel something completely different. It's confusing and it can throw people off, especially if you're a brand, because you want whoever you give a campaign to have a consistency across the board. So the first tip is to make sure that your color scheme and your layout design is consistent across all your social media networks. Now, I don't know if you guys know, quick tip, Canva.com is like my ultimate new favorite photo editing creation place. And Canva actually has set sizes for the different social media networks that you create images for. So you can really easily take an image that you have for Facebook and adjust the sizing and adjust everything and use that same basic layout for Twitter, for Snapchat, for LinkedIn. I think they have it for Tumblr. You can make sure that all your imagery is consistent across the board very easily. And that includes colors. The other thing that I would note on your design is your fonts. You want your fonts to be the same. Your logo. You guys know my logo is TheMrstee with the eyeglasses and the three hearts. I have that logo across the board. So if someone runs into me on Twitter and then they click over in my bio, which I'll talk about in a minute, and they find me on my website, they'll know it's still me because everything will look the same. Everything will be consistent. So again, can you tell here I'm talking about the word consistent really often. Hey, Brandy, thanks so much for popping in. I truly appreciate it. So just to review really quickly, we're talking about brand consistency. You don't want people to meet you and go check you out on social media and see 3 or 4 or 5 different versions of you. That's where we're talking about the split personality come in. You want your brand to have a consistent look, feel, and engagement across the board. So the first thing we talked about was color. You want for your colors and your layout and your schemes and your designs to be pretty much the same. I'm using myself as an example, if your color scheme is black, pink, and white on your site, try to bring that over or have some version of it on your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram. The next thing is your fonts and your logos. You want those also to be the same. You want, if someone clicks through from one place to see you somewhere else, they still know it's you. They don't have to wonder, is this another business she has? Is she doing the same thing over there? You know, that kind of thing. The next thing I want to bring up is your bio. Now, we all know Facebook has a little about portion, Twitter has a little profile portion, so does Instagram. In those places, you want to grab the attention of whoever is looking for you or searching for you as quickly as possible. And you want to give them as much information as possible, but you also want to make sure that you're pretty much giving the same thing across the board. It can be difficult sometimes. Sometimes you have to play with your wording because they all have different character limits, but it's possible. I know for me, I use my branded hashtags a lot. I'm loving those. I have 2 major hashtags that I use for my brand across the board. It's TheMrstee, hashtag TheMrstee, and then hashtag Mrs. T Vlogs. So one will link back to all of my postings, blog information, etc. And the other will link back to my YouTube channel, which is videos and vlogs and event coverages. So I make sure that I include those 2 hashtags in my profiles and bios. That way, if someone searches for me in Twitter, they can hashtag search and see all my postings on Twitter. Someone searches for me on Instagram, they can click my hashtag or hashtag search and find me there. So I think that's a great way to keep consistent with your brand across the board because they get to see what you're doing on each of those social media networks. The last tip that I have is going to be in reference to your profile image. Folks, this is one of my pet peeves, and it may just be me. I'm not sure. You can let me know in the comments below if it's something you think is a problem or if you think it's no big deal. Personally, I always like to see the image, as in the actual face of the person I'm searching for, especially if it's a blog, a lifestyle type thing. I want to see who I'm interacting with. I want to see, I'm trying to block that light that's behind my head. I want to see what they're trying to do and how they're trying to share it. I want to see them. Sometimes you have Instagram accounts or, there we go, Twitter accounts where it's their logo as the profile image. That I don't necessarily think is great. I think it's better to give your viewers and your audience and even the brands the face behind your content. So, I mean, most of my profile images have been selfies or self-portrait type pictures. You don't have to go pay a bunch of money to get a profile picture done, but it is a good investment if you choose to, because it does make a difference. You want people to connect to you. You want them to have that person to say, oh yeah, I remember her, or I like how she writes, and I know it makes them feel like they know you versus just seeing a logo. So that's about it. Brandy, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Whoever is watching on the replay, thank you for that too. Like I said, I am going to try to go live at least once a week with different how-to tips and blogs to tip by. I mean, tips to blog by. Wow. See, I need another cup of coffee. Tips to blog by. If you have any specific questions that you want me to run over, in one of these live sessions, just drop me a note down below, send me a message here on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I'm at TheMrstee across the board. That's a bonus tip. Try to get or obtain the same name for your social media profiles. I know it can be hard. For like 2 years, I had Mrs. TH on a couple and the Mrs. T on others just because it wasn't available. But as soon as the Mrs. T came up, I grabbed it. So try to make sure you do have your same name. That way you can say, if someone says, hey, where can I find you on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, you can easily say, I'm at fill in the blank across the board. It's so easy to do. But I'll review really quick. I see we have 3 viewers now, which is totally awesome, and I love you guys. The quick review is finding your brand consistency and making sure that your brand does not come off like it has a split personality, meaning you do not want for it to look 3, 4, 5 different ways across your social media. You want to have a consistency in your appearance, you want to have a consistency in your content, and you want to have a consistency in how often you're there. So for instance, your color scheme, your design, your layout, try to have that the same across the board. Next up would be your fonts and your profile images. Try to have that the same. You don't want like one picture where you're all like this and another picture where you're all professional. Try to have the same thing. I do have 2 different profile images for my blog versus my YouTube channel, but you can still tell it's me, and that's the key. And the last thing was to make sure that your profiles across your social media networks also share some of the same characteristics, content, and information. You always want brands, audiences, readers, viewers, etc. to be able to relate to and realize and recognize your brand no matter where they find you. And that will also help in engagement and them finding you across your different social media networks. If they know how to find you, they'll know how to connect with you. So we're going on 12 minutes. I don't want to run over or keep repeating whatever. My point was to give 3 awesome tips, and hopefully that's what you got from this. Please, please, please check me out on the next live with Mrs. T, which will be most likely next Friday. Let me know if this is a good time frame or if you would like an evening session, because I can try to adjust that as well. This is actually my very first Facebook Live, thanks to Miss Brandy Riley, who pushed me to make this big jump, and I appreciate it, Brandy, so much. So like I said, we will be doing that. Also, if you haven't noticed or if you haven't seen, I've been trying to promote TiffanyHaywood.com, which is my actual blog consultation site. Right now, I'm offering 15 minutes free consultation time. It's a call between you and I, a one-on-one chat where I get to know you and you get to know me, and we can see where you want your brand and your site to go and how I can help you get there. I have 4 different packages for you to choose from in addition to that 15-minute introduction call. You can pick a first impression critique, which is 20 minutes of time for me to just take a quick scan at your site from top to bottom, in which I let you know the quick first impression things that I see may need to be changed or can help you out or can boost your brand up. Thanks so much, Brandy. I appreciate that. The second package is the In a Click package. That is a 30-minute package, which will give you a social media evaluation. I will take a look at all your social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and make sure that your brand is not suffering from a split personality. I will show you the places where you may need to improve upon your consistency with your brand, and I will also highlight the places where you're doing great at it, because I am not here to tear you down. I'm only there to build you up. The third package is a brand identity package. This one is 60 minutes long, people. That's a full hour. And it lets me know who you want to be across the board. Who do you want to show yourself as a brand? And once we establish that, we get to work on making it happen. And the last package is 90 minutes, which includes all of the above information. I will do the quick first impression. I will do the In a Click for your social media networks. And I will also do your brand identity evaluation. That's the behind the scenes. And package D, or the fourth one, also includes a behind the scenes look, meaning I will help you with plugins. I will help you with widgets. I will help you with trying to tweak stuff behind the scenes on your WordPress blog. So please head over to TiffanyHaywood.com, schedule that 15-minute call. I can't wait to chat with you guys and see what's up and see where you want your brand to go this year. And I can't wait to help you get there. So I'll talk to you guys next Friday, and I'll see you then. Bye.